So I'm sure many of you have seen this by now, but there's a TikTok of a guy complaining about the sexualization of Anya, a character from Spy X Family. Now I'll just make this clear for the people who normally clear out of a video in the first 15 seconds. The guy's a troll. He says he's not a satire account, he's 100% a satire account, he's an attention-seeking person. 100%, don't take them at face value, they're full of bullshit. They don't stand by anything they're saying, they're just doing it 100% for attention. And that's my assumption, I'll hide behind those weasel words. But if you haven't seen the TikTok, again, I'm not going to show it here in full screen. They really don't need the views anymore, because it got so much steam over something ridiculously stupid. Now I'm going to hope and assume that people have also picked up that they're a troll, especially now since they've made a bunch of other TikToks. Especially with a fake article about that Wit Studio and Cloverworks are going to stop making the anime. Like, what is he talking about here? And then another one saying TikTok anime fans criticize Spy X Family when it's genuinely just him who started the whole controversy. The whole thing is a non-controversy, which is why I believed it was on the scope of satire, solely because it had to have been making fun of the people who are like, don't sexualize characters, don't sexualize anime characters. Like, I thought it was satire of that. I mean, it very well could be. What it really seems like is this person is just an attention whore. And I mean, they got their attention. Hirohei talked about it. He made 3 videos. There'll probably be another video tomorrow. Rev says Detsu has made a video on it. This video has been cited in articles. There's many ways you could tell this person is also trolling. One being that they said, I recently started Attack on Titan, and they showed season 4 content, and they were talking about the armband. It's pretty obvious that they're taking the piss. And even when they do try to correctly virtual signal about, you know, people liking young characters in anime, no one believes them because they solely believe they're projecting. Which is why I believe this had to have been satire. Satire on people who live on Twitter. They're obsessed with social media. That they've never really forged enough real relationships with real people to know, like, most people don't care about this shit. Regardless of what kind of attention they were trying to get, most people will now see them as a troll, an idiot, whatever you want to call them. Even when they make a post about like how every anime season we just jump from waifu to waifu to waifu. We had Komi, then we had Marin, now we have another new girl. But regardless, this dude's a troll, don't pay him any mind, the end. And you know what, maybe for young people, they couldn't tell that he was a troll. They thought he was being serious. As when I looked it up on Twitter, I just looked up Spy X Family TikTok, and some people really did believe it because they hear the headline or they hear it from someone else, and the story gets twisted like a demented version of Telephone. And so people end up believing this story. But if you just look at it face value, this dude's trolling. But we can turn the situation towards what it maybe was meaning to satire against. For that, I want to bring up Nezuko back in the Entertainment District arc when she turned into an adult form. And a lot of people got upset about that. Once season 1 of Demon Slayer ended, I picked up the manga right away and I read it all the way to the end. I think it's an enjoyable ride. Maybe my full thoughts on it sometime in the future. I think there's like really missed opportunity there, but whatever, I'm getting off track. But when this moment happened, when I was reading it, I immediately knew people were going to have a tizzy fit over this, even though they're perfectly fine with Nezuko turning into a small little child. And the double standards truly exist when all of the male characters can exist as shirtless, even though all of them are also underage. You know, that's sexual to someone, but the standard is always against the female characters. Instead, they want to persecute those who say, I like Nezuko, but not persecute people who would say, I like Tanjiro. And with that TikTok, I thought we could shine a light on the people who will virtue signal against anime characters, but do it at the same time. There's a few Twitter accounts I follow that are called like Aunties Caught in 4K or something like that, where people will openly state, oh my god, I hate this kind of stuff, but these people will instantly say, well, small person, and I've said this in my previous video too, about like small people like Clara Dow, who have those young-like features. But more often than not, you hear them admonish people for liking anime characters, while they do the same thing in return, where their likes are just publicly available, and you can see that they like certain anime characters who would also be underage. Something I'm quite consistent about is saying that if you're going to be outraged about a character like this is Dawn from, I don't think it's actually Dawn, I don't know, I haven't played the game, but she looks like Dawn from the Pokemon Arceus game, right? And all the Pokemon main characters are like, what, 10 or something like that? I got pretty upset when people would say this is okay solely because she has more developed features, despite the fact that she is 10. The criticism itself is inconsistent, and that's what I really don't like. I've seen this hundreds of times before, where people will say, I really like characters like Ryuko from Kill la Kill. At the same time, they would call you a lolicon for liking a character like Shinobu. So if we're explicitly talking about minor characters, any character under the age of 18 is wrong. Just because one is more petite and one is more voluptuous doesn't make a difference. This is the kind of hypocrisy we see from people who virtue signal all the time. Which is why we saw comments in that TikTok of people saying you're projecting, because a lot of times it seems like people who virtue signal are projecting their own type of insecurities or desires or fetishes or preferences. Well, of course this isn't sexual, this is still in the same vein of people projecting. When you see this, what do you think? Coolest monkey in the jungle. Was your immediate thought racism? Was your immediate thought is attribute monkeys to black people? It's a pretty bad thought if your first thought was, this is racist. A little aside about myself, my mother would call me and my brothers monkeys all the time. Not because we were brown, not because she thought we were all monkeys and apes and stuff like that, because we were jumping around. But this is what we're seeing with a lot of people who are addicted to social media, that they project really hard. Whether it be their own racist tendencies, or maybe their own preference of fictional characters. And you know what really gets me about this is that people get up in arms about sexualizing Nezuko, and it'll get a bunch of attention on social media. But at the same time, like especially on Twitter, it is shared by a group of people called Maps, who are just running rampant all over the place. And those posts get even less engagement. Now, they could just be quietly reporting, that's always an option. But the amount of outrage that we see for fictional stuff like this, something that really harms no one. But I'm hoping that the outrage mobs that exist for this kind of stuff also exist to protect real life children. That also includes going to minors on the internet and telling them to stop doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, and leading the youth. And since Spy X Family was a topic, I have another thing I want to mention. Since we're here, it'll probably be really quick, is that Spy X Family has at least gotten into the top 15 of Mal's ratings, even at one point hitting number 5 with a 9.08 rating. Crazy. And it's only the first episode. It went down pretty fast once people started to notice, and Fullmetal Alchemist once again got more ratings and everything returned back to its normalcy. But I mean, this just shows you how broken Mal's rating system is, or I should say outdated. Anime is far more popular than it's ever been before, so when new anime blow up, the audience of Spy X Family is probably 10 times bigger than Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And that's solely because Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is just old. Mal's ratings are really user scores. They're not reviews, they're not anything to assess quality at all. And we can tell this because some people just say, Spy X Family is so good, I gave it a 10 out of 10 on Mal just from one episode. It's so cute and hilarious, it's totally my cup of tea. So now when people rate 10 out of 10 solely because of the experience they got instead of the quality of the product, maybe they can't even judge the quality of the product, maybe they don't have the capacity to do it, maybe they don't care to do it. But now we're seeing ratings that are just based off the user experience, how they felt about something, when we should all know that judging something off of quality is more than just what you felt. Here's a tweet I particularly agree with. To all the people rambling about Spy X Family high Mal score, it is hype and it will settle to its real score during and after the season. And who knows, maybe it does deserve such a high score, since the manga's been on fire in Japan. Only time will tell. And I agree, that's kind of the stance we have to take. Right now, general hype is blowing it up. And to be honest, what Mal could easily do to fix this, because Spy X Family, as of the moment I'm recording this video, has 0 reviews. Which I believe there has to be a certain amount of episodes passed before it can be reviewed. But I think like the whole series, like at least season 1, the 12 episodes scheduled, should be finished before you can even review the thing. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, if that's the case or not. But I believe you just have to watch a portion of it to review it. But that's not going to happen because the general audience doesn't care to review things accurately. Nor is it really their job. If Mal had a system where we had critic reviews and then user score, I think it all would be good. If Fullmetal Alchemist stands the test of time, then it's going to stay on the top solely because its critic reviews would be really high. But now what we're seeing here is more of a popularity contest than anything else. And while I understand Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood's fans wanting to keep it at the top, I think it is pretty insincere to rate down Spy X Family solely because it's rising the ranks. Times have changed. Fullmetal Alchemist has been over for over 12 years now. Things are going to change. People are going to start liking new media. And that's just how it is. But it doesn't change the fact of your enjoyment or how well you receive the show. But what it does open up is that Mal's rating list is totally broken and outdated. Other than that, I'm done here. I want to try to make a video every Friday, at least once a week. I want to try to commit to that. I want to do a Spy X Family general impression after the 3rd episode airs, because I think 3 episodes is a good amount of time to really see like if I like a show or not. So while the new anime season is rolling out, I have one video I'm really planning next week on Friday. Hopefully I can finish it by then. Thank you guys for your patience. I was sick for quite some time. I have an immune system of a baby, so when I get sick really bad. So it was a wonderful time. I absolutely hated it. But hopefully all of you are doing well, staying healthy, and I'll definitely see you hopefully next Friday, maybe even earlier than that. Peace out.